When you hear the word manifestation, what comes to mind? Is it someone staring into a mirror, chanting affirmations? Or sitting cross-legged on the floor, whispering to the universe like it's Amazon Prime? Or maybe a social media influencer trying to manifest your money into their pocket?
Like, oh my god, if we get 50,000 likes, I'll send a special code to some pathetic, lucky follower to receive like moon water blessed by a monk or whatever.
Yeah, no thanks. So, let me tell you how I accidentally ended up manifesting my dream car. No vision boards, no affirmations, no chanting, crystals, or candles. I didn't even know what manifestation was. I was just a broke 19-year-old kid with a clapped-out truck. And somehow, the world lined up in a way I still can't fully explain. But to understand how it happened, we've got to rewind. Way back.
Get off my lawn.
Wrong way. Give me a second. Okay, let me just see here. Just over here and... There we go. Crap, too far. Just one more second. There we go. Much better. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was about 10 years old, sitting on the floor in our old living room watching a movie called Twins. Arnold Schwarzenegger plays this super smart, super genetically enhanced guy who's never driven a car. Then his twin brother, played by Danny DeVito, hands him the keys to this red Mustang convertible. And Arnold? He gets behind the wheel and somehow gets the car up on two wheels. It was ridiculous. But to 10-year-old me, that was the coolest thing I had ever seen in my life. I didn't even know what kind of car it was at the time. I just knew whatever that was, I wanted one. About 9 years went by. I was maybe 18, right at 19. My baby sister was having a birthday party, so the whole family showed up. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. That's when my older cousin pulled up. He was driving a red 1987 Mustang GT. I'd never seen anything like it up close. And at that point hadn't put two and two together that it was the same kind of car on two wheels all those years ago. The sound, the stance, the way it sat in the road, it looked mean, and I liked it. He asked if I wanted to go for a ride. I didn't even answer. I was already walking to the passenger door. We got out on the road and he floored it. First gear was useless, nothing but smoke. Second gear, we got a little sideways. Third gear, we were gone. Then he pulled into a church parking lot and lit up the tires, flung us around, and we were on our way back. By the time we pulled into my parents' driveway, I was done. That wasn't just a car anymore, that was the car. And I knew right then, I had to have one. The rest of that day, I kept sneaking glances at that car. Every time I had the chance, I looked. That night, I replayed the ride in my head over and over again. I could still hear it, still smell the exhaust, still see the way it moved. When it was time to go to bed, I grabbed my headphones and hit play on my old Shockwave CD player, like I did every night. But something was different. This time, I wasn't laying in my bed listening to music. And the music, it wasn't coming from my headphones anymore. It was coming from the speakers of my car. You heard that right? The speakers of my car. What I mean is, within 5 minutes of laying down on my back, closing my eyes and pressing play, I found myself imagining so intensely that the veil between reality and imagination had ceased to exist. All of a sudden, I already had my car and every emotional sensation of that fact, along with it, in my mind. From that night forward, even as a young man, I actually looked forward to going to bed. The next morning, I woke up to go to work as I always did. Same morning routine. Wake up, brush my teeth, get dressed, out the door, and to my busted, clapped-out rust bucket truck that took at least 5 minutes, and 3 whacks of a hammer on the fuel pump to get it to start. Then, up the road, turn left, head toward the interstate, exit 119, then clock in at 8 a.m. sharp to begin the day. Then I would come home, do my chores, take a shower, and go to my room. I could not wait for the dark. I actually looked forward to laying down so I could listen to my music, and to do so in my car, in my mind. Look, I know it sounds insane, but I am telling you, it was like I was transported to a different universe where I already owned the car. This went on for weeks. Work, home, chores, drive my car, sleep, work, and so on. Along the way, I started to cut out pictures of Mustangs from magazines and tape them to my mirror. I even bought the Haynes repair manual for the Fox body.
Huh?
My parents thought I was losing my marbles since I didn't even own that car and my truck broke down every payday on the dot. And it wouldn't be a little breakdown. It would be something that ate up my entire paycheck, and it would always break down in spectacular fashion with an Uncle Buck-style backfire right in front of some pretty girls.
Ew. Oh my God.
That truck hated me. But even though I was broke, my truck was an exploding pile of embarrassment and sadness on wheels. I never stopped driving my car in my mind at night. Then one Friday morning, I wake up to my alarm clock losing its ever-loving mind. I sit straight up to see that it's not 6:30, but instead, it is 7:45. I'm late! I fly out of bed, brush my teeth, jump in my truck, and I'm gone. Late, late, late. I am so late. I think to myself, they're going to fire me, as I stop the gas to the floor to achieve a blistering 57 miles per hour. That's all that truck would do on its best day because Nissan. Anyway, to the end of the street I go, turn signal to hang a left. I look and there's road construction? Really? Well, can't go that way, so I cut a right turn and head to another route. End of that road, another right, then end of that road, another right, and I will be back on track. I get to the last right turn and I look, cops, everywhere? And I just realized I forgot my wallet in the rush, so I turn left and now I am going in a completely wrong direction, and I am beyond late. As I am driving and panicking and trying to figure out what could have happened, I see something. I honestly don't remember turning into the car lot, but apparently I did so in such a manner as to garner the attention of the car lot owner and the dead. An older man, fat and jolly, walks as fast as a fat man can without falling over to come see what is going on. By the time he gets to me, I'm already out of my truck and looking at the car. My car. He asks,
"Are you okay? Sounded like the end of the world just then."
I tell him that everything is fine and that I've been looking for a car like this for a long time, and I finally found it. I'll never forget the look on his face. He paused, looked at the car, and looked back at me. Then he said,
"If you would have been here yesterday, I would have sold it to you, but there was a fella who came in and put some money down, and will be back today to pick it up."
I was beyond crushed. How could this be? How can I have found the perfect car only to have been a day late, never mind $1 short? Remember, I was just a broke kid and had no idea how I would ever be able to afford my car. Especially since I spent every check I made on that clinking, clattering, collision-prone pile of broken dreams that was my truck. Understanding that I had lost before I even started to play, I exchanged numbers with the man and asked that he call me if he ever had another Mustang for sale. He agreed and wished me luck. From there, I drove in complete silence all the way to work. I was chewed out for being late, but all I could think about was that car. For the next week or so, I drove to and from work on the exact same route, far out of my way, so I could pass by the car lot just to make sure the Mustang wasn't there. And each day, only the empty spot where my dream car had once been remained. That following Friday was my day off, and as usual, I was working around the house and mowing the grass. I had gone to bed the night before without listening to my music. It was at this point I had all but given up. I thought to myself, well, you lose some, you lose some. As I was mowing the grass, my father walked out on the back porch with the cordless house phone and said,
"Chris, someone's on the phone for you."
Now, at that point in my life, if I received a phone call, it was from one of 3 friends. And as was customary, I would answer with, "What's up?" Silence. Long, uncomfortable silence. And the sound a landline made when a thunderstorm was getting close in the summer. Then more silence. Then I hear a familiar voice clear his throat and say,
Hello? Is this Chris? I'm calling to let you know that I have the Mustang you wanted."
I almost dropped the phone. I couldn't believe what I just heard. He went on to tell me that the guy brought the car back within 7 days. He'd changed his mind and thought better of his midlife crises, and if I were still interested, the car was ready to go. I immediately flew into panic as I realized once again that I was a broke kid, had no credit, no savings. I started to think of ways I could raise some money in a hurry, but nothing was realistic. My father, seeing his son in obvious distress, asked,
Son, what's wrong?
so I told him the whole story. How I listened to my music each night, cut out pictures, bought the repair manual, woke up late, road construction, cops, wrong turns, and how all the seemingly odd coincidences that never should have happened lead me to find that Mustang, but I had no money and no credit to buy it. Without a second thought, he said,
Well, son, your mother and I will sign for you to get the car if it means that much to you.
what do you say to something like that? The gratitude I felt and feel to this day can never be repaid. Literally, all of my problems were solved, and now I'm going to get my car. My father and I drove down to the car lot and took the car out for a test drive. When I pulled out of the lot, the tires began to boil, and it caught both my father and I off guard. I say this with 100% honesty. That was the first and only time I ever spun the tires by accident. We came back to the lot, signed the paperwork, and the rest is history. I've told you this story to tell you the truth of it all. You don't need a guru or a guide. You don't need to buy a book or pay someone to teach you. All you have to do is plant the seed, water it with emotion as if it is already yours, take action, let go, and receive it. Whatever it is, with gratitude every step of the way. It really is that simple. If I can do it, so can you. And chances are you already have. You just don't realize it. Yet.